In the world of modern dating, there's a common narrative that we see time and time again, especially when it comes to casual relationships. Women often find themselves asking questions like, "What are we?" or "Where is this going?" And in the heat of the moment, it can feel like the man is the one who's holding back, who's dodging the commitment, who's keeping her in the dark about his intentions. But what if I told you that sometimes it's not as straightforward as it seems? We often paint men in this situation as the villain, selfish players who use women for casual relationships without any regard for their feelings. We think he's just in it for the fun, and she's the one who gets hurt. But here's the thing. The truth is far more complicated than that. Men, especially in today's dating environment, are sometimes forced to act in ways they don't even realize. They're navigating a dating market that's stacked against them, one where casual encounters are hard to come by, and where each relationship carries a lot more weight than it might seem on the surface. Let's break this down a bit more. When a man and a woman start a casual relationship, things can seem easy and straightforward at first. It's fun, it's exciting, and there's chemistry. But then, after some time, the inevitable question arises from the woman, "What are we?" or "Where is this going?" Now, at first glance, this seems like a simple request for clarity. A woman is simply seeking reassurance, hoping to know that the relationship is moving forward. But sometimes that question carries a hidden weight, one that feels almost like an accusation. "Are you using me? Am I just a fling to you?" That's how it can feel when she asks, and it's easy to assume that the man is somehow being manipulative. However, here's where things start to get interesting. What if, in fact, the woman is manipulating the situation, perhaps without even realizing it? Let me show you what I mean. In today's dating landscape, getting a date is a much harder challenge for men than it is for women. Women, by and large, can get dates fairly easily. Men, however, often have to work much harder. They have to put in the effort, approaching women, making a good impression, and sometimes spending weeks or even months building rapport just to secure one date. A date which may end up being a foodie call. Now imagine this man finally secures a casual relationship with a woman he's interested in, something that for him doesn't happen often. Then, a woman, often without fully understanding the gravity of the situation, begins to press him for commitment with questions like, "What's this all about?" and oftentimes while she has a roster of other casual partners. For him, the stakes are high, and telling the truth might risk losing her completely. In a world where it's already difficult for him to get a single date, losing a woman he's interested in could be devastating. So, what does he do? He lies. He tells her what she wants to hear, not out of malice or manipulation, but out of the fear of her vanishing, and the knowledge that his options are limited. In contrast, a woman whose access to casual relationships is far less constrained, has far less fear of losing this relationship. Casual encounters for women tend to be more plentiful. It's easy for her to find a new relationship or even a casual fling if one doesn't work out, or fall back on the other one she has. Because of this, women often have less investment in casual relationships. Casual relationships can feel disposable, and as a result, she may push for something more serious, even though it may not be something she's truly emotionally attached to. But here's where it gets even more mind-blowing. Men don't typically enter committed relationships unless they genuinely feel a special connection to the woman. It's about emotional attraction, something that is a bit more personal and selective. This can make it seem like men are shallow or just interested in casual relationships. But in reality, men typically don't commit to a woman unless they feel a strong bond or deep affection. And because of difficulties in the dating market, they are pushed to settle for relationships of lower commitment with women they don't feel a special bond to. Women, on the other hand, may enter committed relationships or even marriages without necessarily feeling that same bond. While it's not always the case, many women enter relationships for a variety of reasons, such as social status, emotional support, or the desire for stability, even when the emotional connection may not be there. This is what often leads to men being seen as the ones who only want casual relationships, while women are seen as the ones who seek commitment. But in truth, the dynamics are far more complex. Here's where things can take an interesting turn. Women, in many cases, may want a relationship for validation. If they feel that a man is not taking the relationship seriously, they might become offended or hurt. It's not always about love or deep affection. Sometimes the woman's desire for commitment stems from the need to feel valued and validated. Oftentimes because the woman has had a recent history of consecutive casual partners who wanted nothing more, and because of this, her self-esteem has taken a toll. When a man does not seem interested in taking things to the next level, it can make her feel invalidated. She might feel like she's not enough for him, and that can be painful. This feeling of being overlooked can lead her to press for more, a commitment that is sometimes driven more by her desire for recognition than by genuine emotional connection. In some cases, a psychological phenomenon occurs. If a man had offered commitment, she would have lost interest, since her extensive romantic history has warped her perception and has caused her to view men who offer commitment as lesser than those who don't. And a woman, even while being aware of that, may still pressure the man for commitment. The idea of entering a relationship without truly loving someone isn't just a small misstep. It can actually be a manipulative act. Entering a relationship without real emotional investment, especially when you know the other person loves you, is a betrayal of mutual affection. It shifts the relationship from one of love to one of ulterior motives, such as seeking emotional, financial, or social benefits. Now, let's take a moment to think about this from a woman's perspective. If women found themselves in the position where dating and casual relationships were difficult to come by, would they really be upset by the situation? Would they be as eager to push for commitment if they were in the man's shoes? In fact, they might appreciate a casual relationship far more, cherishing the connections they had, because each one would be a rare and precious opportunity. This is where opportunity cost comes into play. If a woman knew how rare and valuable a casual connection could be for a man, especially in a world where finding a meaningful relationship takes time and effort, she might see the relationship in a different light. Casual relationships wouldn't just be another transaction, they'd be investments, experiences worth holding on to, not forcing for more when the bond might not yet be there. In the end, the key is understanding the motivations that drive us all. Men, navigating a world where casual relationships are hard to come by, may feel more invested in the few opportunities they get. Women, on the other hand, may seek commitment not just for love, but for validation and the additional benefits they can secure, pushing for as much as they feel they can bargain for. By acknowledging these differences and the unique pressures each side faces, we can foster healthier, more open relationships where both parties feel heard and respected. So next time you're in a casual relationship, take a moment to think, what's really driving the questions? What are we all really seeking? Let's talk about it in the comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking content. Until next time.